What if I told you there's a book so enigmatic, so controversial, that it redefines the boundaries of what we consider sacred scripture? Imagine a text claiming to be dictated by an angel to Moses, filled with divine secrets, forbidden knowledge, and a radical 364-day calendar that challenges long-established traditions. This book, known as the Book of Jubilees, has been revered as holy in Ethiopia, yet rejected by most of Christendom. Its mysteries spark endless debate. Why was it excluded? Could it hold truths we've overlooked? Or does it stand as a heretical anomaly? Let's uncover the secrets of this forbidden text. The Book of Jubilees, often called Little Genesis, is unlike any other text you've encountered. It retells the stories of Genesis from creation to the flood and beyond, but through a cosmic lens. Imagine a text claiming to have been dictated to Moses by an angel during his 40 days on Mount Sinai. It offers more than stories. It unveils a divine timeline, a radical solar calendar with 364 days, and insights into angelic roles that challenge traditional interpretations of Scripture. Yet, its story doesn't end there. Jubilees have sparked division across faiths and centuries. While the Ethiopian Orthodox Church holds it as sacred, it was rejected by the Western Church and excluded during the formation of the Bible. Its controversial claims, angelic mediation, a celestial calendar, and expanded theological insights pose profound questions about what qualifies as Scripture. Could this forgotten text contain truths overlooked by the mainstream, or does its divergence from tradition make it an anomaly? This journey will take us deep into its mysteries, exploring its historical impact, theological richness, and relevance for today. Let's dive in. The Book of Jubilees is more than just a forgotten text. It's a source of profound controversy that challenges our understanding of Scripture and tradition. Its bold claims and deviations from established doctrine make it a theological puzzle. Jubilees introduces a 364-day solar calendar, described as the divine rhythm of creation, rejecting the widely accepted lunar calendar used in Jewish and Christian traditions. This is not a minor detail. It challenges centuries of religious timekeeping and worship practices. Moreover, Jubilees elevates the role of angels to active participants in creation and divine governance. It attributes the corruption of humanity to the Watchers, angelic beings who rebelled against God and introduced forbidden knowledge, leading to the birth of the Nephilim. These narratives add layers of cosmic complexity to stories traditionally understood as human-centered. Its exclusion from the Western biblical canon during the 4th century raises questions about the criteria used to determine Scripture. Why was a book so revered by the Essenes and central to the Ethiopian Orthodox Church dismissed as apocryphal elsewhere? Is it because its theological claims diverged too far from mainstream traditions, or because its revelations posed uncomfortable questions for institutional religion? Jubilees forces us to confront deeper issues. What qualifies a text as divinely inspired? Are some truths intentionally hidden, or do they simply not fit within established frameworks? Exploring these challenges is essential to understanding its role in biblical history and its implications for modern faith. The theological themes in the Book of Jubilees are as radical as they are thought-provoking. At the heart of its claims is the concept of a 364-day solar calendar, a timekeeping system Jubilees argues reflects divine perfection and the rhythm of creation itself. This calendar contrasts sharply with the lunar calendar traditionally used in Judaism and Christianity, and the text goes further to assert that following the lunar calendar causes humanity to fall out of alignment with God's divine order. It presents time not just as a tool for measurement, but as a spiritual framework, intimately tied to worship and faithfulness to God's plan. This theme of divine order extends beyond timekeeping. Jubilees redefines the role of angels in the cosmos, presenting them as active participants in creation. Unlike the canonical Bible, which often describes God as the sole actor in creation, Jubilees introduces a celestial hierarchy in which angels are tasked with overseeing the natural world. They govern the movement of celestial bodies, manage the elements, and act as stewards of divine laws. Their roles extend to teaching humanity the ways of God and ensuring adherence to His commands. This shifts the focus of divine governance from a single creator to a collaborative, hierarchical system. Perhaps the most striking theological expansion is the narrative of the Watchers. Jubilees claim these angels, initially sent to guide humanity, rebelled by descending to earth and taking human wives. This act of defiance resulted in the birth of the Nephilim, giants whose corruption and violence prompted divine judgment. But the Watchers' impact didn't stop there. They introduced humanity to forbidden knowledge, including sorcery, weapon-making, and astrology. In Jubilees, this rebellion is framed not just as an angelic failure, but as a cosmic disruption that nearly unravels God's intended order for creation. Examples of this theology are woven throughout the text. The solar calendar, described in detail, is presented as a system without flaws, composed of 52 weeks, divided into perfect quarters. It eliminates discrepancies found in the lunar system, symbolizing God's unchanging nature. Similarly, the angels' involvement in creation is illustrated through their governance of celestial bodies and the sanctification of the Sabbath. The rebellion of the Watchers is vividly detailed, with their actions serving as the ultimate cautionary tale about deviating from divine instruction. The value of these themes lies in their profound implications for faith. Jubilees forces readers to rethink their relationship with time, divine governance, and the spiritual forces at work in the world. Time, according to Jubilees, is not arbitrary. It is sacred. Aligning with God's timekeeping system becomes an act of worship, a tangible way to participate in His divine plan. Similarly, the elevated role of angels challenges the reader to see creation as a layered and interconnected system, where obedience and alignment with God extend beyond humanity to the very fabric of the universe. Yet, these theological expansions also provoke questions. Does Jubilee complicate the simplicity of the biblical narrative, or does it reveal a deeper, hidden layer of truth? Are the angels' active roles a reflection of divine magnificence, or a distraction from God's sovereignty? And perhaps most importantly, what does it mean for humanity to exist in a universe governed not solely by God, but through a celestial hierarchy? By presenting time as sacred, angels as active participants, and rebellion as a cosmic event, Jubilees offers a theological framework that is both enriching and challenging. For those willing to engage with its claims, the Book of Jubilees provides a lens through which to examine not only biblical stories, but the broader relationship between God, creation, and humanity. Its messages invite us to question the rhythms of our own lives. Are we aligned with God's divine calendar? Do we fully understand the role of spiritual forces in shaping our world? These are not just theological musings. They are invitations to deeper faith and understanding. The historical journey of the Book of Jubilees is as intriguing as the text itself, shedding light on the complex relationship between Scripture, tradition, and culture. Jubilees emerged during the Second Temple period, a time of theological development and cultural tension in Judaism. Its origins are closely tied to the Essenes, a devout Jewish sect known for their ascetic lifestyle and dedication to preserving sacred texts. The Dead Sea Scrolls, discovered in the mid-20th century, contained multiple copies of Jubilees, affirming its significance within Second Temple Judaism. These scrolls reveal that Jubilees was more than a supplementary text. It was a cornerstone for communities like the Essenes, who viewed it as a guide to divine law and cosmic order. However, outside these circles, Jubilees faced growing opposition, particularly as the Jewish and Christian canons began to take shape. By the 4th century CE, when the Western Church was formalizing the biblical canon, Jubilees was excluded. This decision was influenced by theological and political factors. Jubilees' radical claims, its solar calendar, emphasis on angelic mediation, and expanded narratives diverged from the accepted teachings of the Church. Leaders feared that its inclusion could create division or challenge established doctrines. As a result, Jubilees was labeled apocryphal, fading from prominence in Western Christianity. In stark contrast, the Ethiopian Orthodox Church embraced Jubilees as sacred scripture, preserving it as part of their canon to this day. For Ethiopian Christians, the book aligns seamlessly with their theological emphasis on divine order, angelic activity, and the sacred rhythm of time. It is read alongside the Gospels and Psalms and treated with the same reverence as other canonical texts. This divergence highlights a fascinating cultural divide. Why was a text so central to Ethiopian orthodoxy dismissed by the broader Christian canon? The rediscovery of Jubilees in the 19th century, through Ge'ez manuscripts and its fragments in the Dead Sea Scrolls, reignited interest in this mysterious text. Scholars began to re-examine its role in early Jewish and Christian thought, sparking debates about its theological significance and historical influence. Some argue that its exclusion from the canon was a loss, as its insights into sacred time, angelic governance, and divine law offer a richer understanding of biblical themes. The historical journey of Jubilees raises profound questions about the nature of Scripture and the criteria for its inclusion. Who decides what is considered sacred? How do cultural and theological biases shape the formation of the canon? Jubilees challenges us to confront these questions, inviting us to explore how history, faith, and tradition intersect. It serves as a reminder that Scripture is not just a product of divine inspiration, but also human interpretation. Jubilees' enduring legacy lies in its ability to provoke thought and inspire dialogue. Whether revered as sacred scripture or dismissed as apocryphal, it remains a testament to the richness and diversity of early religious thought. Its survival through centuries of neglect and its rediscovery in modern times underscore its resilience and relevance. The Book of Jubilees invites us to reconsider the boundaries of faith and Scripture, offering a lens through which to view the dynamic interplay between history, theology, and cultural identity. The relationship between angels and humanity is a central theme in the Book of Jubilees, offering a perspective that goes far beyond traditional biblical narratives. In Jubilees, angels are not distant observers, but active participants in God's divine plan. From the very first day of creation, angels are described as integral to the cosmic order, tasked with governing natural elements, celestial bodies, and even the rhythm of sacred time. They are depicted as stewards of divine law, ensuring that God's will is carried out with precision and harmony throughout the universe. One of the most striking contributions of Jubilees is its detailed account of the Watchers. These angels, initially sent to guide and protect humanity, abandon their divine duties by descending to earth and taking human wives. This act of rebellion, vividly described in Jubilees, leads to the birth of the Nephilim, giants whose size and strength symbolize moral and spiritual corruption. But the influence of the Watchers extends further. They teach humanity forbidden knowledge, such as sorcery, weapon-making. The fallout from the Watchers' rebellion is catastrophic, with their actions triggering divine judgment in the form of the Great Flood. This narrative is not merely a cautionary tale about disobedience. It serves as a lens through which to understand the spiritual battles that underpin human history. Jubilees present a universe deeply intertwined with angelic activity, where humanity's fate is influenced by the choices of celestial beings, as much as by human decisions. Yet the role of angels in Jubilees is not solely negative. The text also portrays angels as protectors and mediators of God's covenant. For instance, angels are described as guiding Moses during his time on Mount Sinai, dictating the laws and sacred timekeeping systems that would shape Israelite worship. This duality, angels as both protectors and potential corruptors, creates a dynamic view of their relationship with humanity, highlighting the delicate balance between divine order and free will. This expanded role of angels invites profound theological reflection. Are angels symbols of God's immediate governance, or do their actions sometimes obscure his sovereignty? By presenting angels as deeply involved in both creation and rebellion, Jubilees challenges us to consider the spiritual forces at work in our lives. How much of our experience is shaped by unseen battles, and how do we align ourselves with the forces of light rather than darkness? Ultimately, Jubilees uses the story of angels to emphasize the interconnectedness of creation, reminding readers that the spiritual realm is not separate from the physical but deeply intertwined. The actions of angels, whether righteous or rebellious, serve as a backdrop for humanity's ongoing journey toward redemption, raising questions about responsibility, divine justice, and the complexity of God's plan. The climax of the Book of Jubilees lies in its audacious claim that humanity's understanding of sacred time has been fundamentally flawed. At the heart of this revelation is the 364-day solar calendar, presented as the divinely ordained rhythm of creation. Jubilees argues that deviation from this calendar disrupts the harmony between humanity and God, leading to misaligned worship and a loss of spiritual clarity. This is more than a technical disagreement. It's a profound theological assertion at that time. Jubilees position the solar calendar as a representation of God's unchanging nature. Unlike the lunar calendar, which requires constant adjustments and is subject to human error, the solar calendar is portrayed as a perfect reflection of divine order. It is precise, symmetrical, and unaltered, a testament to the Creator's design. By rejecting this calendar, Jubilees suggests that humanity has strayed from its intended connection to the sacred, following rhythms influenced by earthly traditions rather than divine order. The implications of this claim extend beyond timekeeping. The calendar debate serves as a microcosm for larger questions about divine authority, tradition, and the way humanity interacts with God's creation. It challenges readers to consider whether their practices of worship truly align with the divine, or are shaped by human innovation. This theological climax underscores the stakes of misalignment. To follow the wrong rhythm of time is to risk losing sight of God's eternal plan. Through this bold assertion, Jubilees invites readers to rethink their relationship with time, worship, and divine truth. It asks, are we living in harmony with God's design? Or have we allowed human traditions to cloud our understanding of the sacred? This moment of realization served as the heartbeat of Jubilees, compelling readers to examine their faith through the lens of divine order and eternal purpose. The conclusion of the Book of Jubilees is not just an ending, it's an invitation to reflection and action. As we journey through its pages, we encounter a text that challenges tradition, reshapes theology, and reimagines humanity's relationship with the divine. Jubilees offers a perspective where sacred time is recalibrated. Angels play an active role in cosmic governance, and divine truth is revealed in ways that both enrich and unsettle our understanding of Scripture. It forces us to confront questions. At its heart, Jubilees reminds us of the dynamic and evolving nature of faith. Its exclusion from the Western canon and preservation in the Ethiopian Orthodox tradition highlights the diversity of sacred thought and the power of cultural and theological perspectives to shape what we hold as Scripture. This contrast invites modern readers to question how much of our faith is shaped by divine intention and how much by human interpretation. Could it be that Jubilees hold insights into God's plan that have been overlooked or dismissed due to historical and cultural biases? But beyond the debates of canon and theology, Jubilees offers timeless lessons. Its emphasis on aligning with divine order through sacred time challenges us to consider how our daily lives reflect or deviate from God's eternal rhythms. Its portrayal of angels as stewards of creation and participants in spiritual battles reminds us of the unseen forces at work in the world, urging vigilance and faithfulness. And its cosmic perspective on history invites us to see ourselves not as isolated individuals, but as integral participants in a divine narrative that spans eternity. In the end, the Book of Jubilees is more than a relic of the past. It's a mirror that reflects our deepest questions about faith, Scripture, and God's plan for humanity. Whether we view it as divinely inspired or historical curiosity, it calls us to engage with its mysteries and wrestle with its implications. The question it leaves us with is simple yet profound. How do we ensure that our faith, our time, and our worship align with the eternal design of the Creator? It's a challenge and an opportunity. Now that we've uncovered the mysteries of the Book of Jubilees, the journey doesn't stop here. It's your turn to take the next step. Dive into this ancient text with an open mind and a heart ready for discernment. Explore its bold claims about sacred time, angelic roles, and divine truth, and ask yourself, what can this forgotten book teach us about God's eternal plan and our place within it? Whether you approach it as a historical artifact, a theological revelation, or a bit of both, let its pages challenge you to think deeply about the nature of faith, tradition, and divine intention. The Book of Jubilees challenges us to think critically about how we measure time, understand Scripture, and align our lives with divine order. By engaging with this text, you're not just revisiting ancient history. You're opening a door to deeper spiritual reflection and growth. Don't let its exclusion from the mainstream keep you from exploring its insights. Seek wisdom, question boldly, and let the mysteries of Jubilees guide you to a closer relationship with God's design for humanity.